Hello, good morning. Good morning from this side of the world. My name is Pearl Ogenetega, and today I am going to be speaking with you about self discovery. First and foremost, I must say it's my pleasure to be here. I really want to thank the organizers of this campaign for the great job you've been doing. Kudos to you, to every single person on this team. You made this happen. God bless you and well done. In the process of doing this, you have discovered your own passion and you're pursuing it. Thank you for using this opportunity to reach out to young people and to help them. And to all the sponsors, God bless you and increase you. So, my name is Pearl Genetega, and currently I work as a business analyst and a business consultant for a startup here in the United Kingdom. I've been through quite a lot of corporate, a lot in the corporate industry in terms of, I've been through banking and finance. I have been through, when I say banking and finance institutions, I mean working in the bank. I've also been through the oil and gas industry. I've been through the housing sector here in the UK, and now in consulting. It's been a fantastic ride. And that brings me to what I'm going to be sharing with you about today, self-discovery. I wish this could have been live because it would have offered me the opportunity to speak with you and also have feedback. Normally, you would want me to start with, oh, what is self-discovery? And how do I go about it? I'm going to get there, but I'm going to share a little bit first about my story. I will share about myself and my own self-discovery journey. So I wouldn't start from the beginning. I'm just gonna go straight to it. I was born into a family where my mother is she's from Delta State in Nigeria, and very industrious, very hardworking, very productive woman. I admired her, and I always said in my heart, okay, you know what? When I grow up, I'm gonna be like this woman. So, fast forward, getting into secondary school, JSS1, JSS2. In JSS3, we were faced with, so what do you want to do? You want to go arts? You want to go science? Trust me, I have a science brain. I have a brain that's for science. But I did a deep search within myself to ask myself, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for? What do I want my life to look like? And when I started sitting down to answer these questions, it opened me to my core. Yes, I have the brain for science. My dad had always said, oh, I'm going to be in sciences. I should be in engineering and all of that. But at that time in JSS3, I was able to tell them, hey, look, I do not want to do science, pure science. Neither do I want to do pure arts. Why? Because pure arts had subjects that I didn't like history. I love experiencing history, but I don't like repeating it on paper. It had subjects like literature, the Macbeth and all this, which I did not like one bit. So those two subjects I didn't like, I would prefer geography in place of those two. And that literally led me to making a decision that would forever determine the rest of my life. Why am I sharing this? Because the journey of your life is all based on your own decisions, your own choices, your own choices at every point in time. People would give you advice. People would try to show you what to do, how to go about it. But the ultimate decision lies on you. And at that point, I told myself, you know what? I know my dad wants the best for me. I know my mom wants the best for me. But the fact is, whatever I choose to do now, in terms of do I go science or do I go arts, would to a large extent affect the rest of my life. The outcomes, the results, who will bear it? I will bear the consequences. And it was at that point I told myself, you know what? I am going to do what I feel confident about, and I will stand by it or stand on it, no matter what. And guess what? I was the first to be in arts class and be doing geography. I didn't do history. I didn't do literature. I mean, it was a case where they called the guidance counselor, called my mom, and I said, no, I don't want to do those subjects because that is the norm. That is what everybody does. That is the laid down principle. No, I don't want, because I don't like those subjects. I don't want to do the subjects. I want to be, and it was after the experience with me that another class was created, that it was no longer arts and science. It was now, I think it was commercial also, that was created to allow people to mix. So I had a little bit mix of arts and a little bit mix of science. And today, that led me into studying banking and finance in school. I decided to major in that, my master's and all of that. And here we are, several years down the line, and I do not regret that decision. Why? Because I spent time to discover myself, to find out who I was and what I wanted and how I wanted my life to turn out as young as I was in JSS 3. Yes, I'm not a psychologist. And you might think, oh, because I'm not a psychologist, I'm not qualified to speak about this. But I will tell you that based on experience, I can share a couple of things. So let's start with what self-discovery is. It's actually a process. It's not something that you do in one day and you just voila, find out who you are. It is a process that requires discipline, requires focus. It is a journey, and it always starts somewhere. It's a process of you finding out things about yourself, both the good and the bad. So when you find the bad, you nip it in the bud and you change it. When you find the good, you amplify it, you give more volume to that, you project more of that outside. Your image is all about your self-image, what people see and know and understand about you. It's all about how you perceive yourself. So let's say that self-discovery is about you finding out who you are and how you perceive your own self. And that is the picture that you give to the rest of the world. I was having a conversation with an old friend of mine. I mean, a friend from when I was 15, 16, 17. And he said something to me that really shocked me. And he said, your aura, the air around you, if somebody is not confident or does not really know themselves very well, they could feel intimidated. And I sat back and I wondered, how did I get there? Because I was the timid girl. I'm the last child in my family. I was the one that was always getting shut down, shouted at, and you know. But how did I get to that point that my confidence was projected that much that people around me would sense it, and it would even threaten their own confidence if they're not sure of themselves? How did I get there? It's the process of self-discovery. So in self-discovery, you're looking at different things. You're looking at what are my natural abilities? What are the things that I don't need to force myself to do? It just comes naturally to me. What are my natural abilities? In which direction is this natural ability pointing to? That is what we call potential. What could this fetch me? You're looking at, what are my strengths? I can talk. I can stand in front of people. I'm bold. I am very friendly. These are things that could be your strengths, and they will count for you. If you know them, you'll be able to develop them. So you're looking at your abilities. You're looking at your gifts. Those are the natural things that have come to you. You're looking at your potential. How do I behave in different situations? It's part of self-discovery. So you find that you're talking with someone and someone says something and it's I don't want to use the word triggers, but it makes you react in a certain way. Don't just react and just say, oh, that's who I am. Go back and sit down and ask yourself, I reacted in this particular way. Why did I react like this? What made me? So you are questioning things about yourself to know yourself better. So by the time you find out that if someone says this, it makes me get angry, it will help you to regulate yourself in another situation. So when someone says that same thing, you know that, I'm gonna get angry. So what do? Do I leave this space? Do I end the conversation? Do I correct the person? Do I tell the person don't use that word? It just helps you to regulate yourself. Your mindset is another part of self-discovery. What is my mindset about success? What's my mindset about money? What's my mindset about myself and how I relate with people? What is my mindset about friendships and relationships? What is my mindset about how I can move from here to there? Do you have goals? Discovering yourself will also help you to set the right goals and create a life plan. I'm saying a lot of things at the same time in these few minutes. I'm just going to wrap up very quickly. But if you go back and listen and think again about some of the things, what is your life plan? The general thing has been go to school, get a job, get married, have children. And I asked myself questions and I said, is that all there is to life? Get a job, get married, have children, and continue the cycle, get old and die. Is there something else that can be done? Is there something else that I can do to make my life not like the mundane rat race that everybody does? And then that will get you to pick your pen and put it to paper and start planning out your life, how you want it to be. Where do you want to see yourself in 2 to 3 years? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want to see yourself in 10 years? I had a friend that would ask me, where do you want to see yourself in 15 years, if Jesus tarries? So, your goals, your heart posture. For those of us who are Christians, who are believers, in fact, not just believers, generally every person, the state of your heart would also determine a whole lot of things. There is something that we call the law of attraction. As you pull to yourself, you draw to yourself what you keep thinking on or what you are on the inside. So you also want to be able to work on that. But how can you work on what you do not know? This is where self-discovery comes in. If you remember, I said it's not just about the positives, it's about both the good and the bad. So you amplify the good and then you work on the bad. For instance, I know myself. I know definitely that I have issues with anger. So I'm working on that area of my life. But there's one part of me, there was one thing that you will not find in me. You see jealousy and envy. You will not see it. You see hate. You will not see it. Poke, look for, you will not find it. Why? Because I discovered early, that these are attributes that I don't want to have in my life. And I am a Christian. So I consciously not just worked on it, I both prayed and worked deliberately on those aspects until today. It's hard. You can't get me to be jealous of you. I will celebrate you instead. If I really want that thing, I will ask you, how did you go about it? So, self-discovery plays a very vital role in you molding your character, in you becoming a person that other people can trust. And let me tell you something, in the world that we live today, trust is a currency that you cannot buy. I said it's a currency because you can exchange it for a whole lot. It can bring you money. But you must be able to earn that trust from people. And you earning that trust from people boils down to your character, it boils down to your integrity, and that boils down to self-discovery and self-development. So we've talked about what self-discovery is and how it affects you, right? It's going to affect your character, it's going to affect the money you're going to make, it's going to affect you in terms of success, it's going to affect you in terms of how you plan your life, how you set your goals, how you go towards achieving them. As I'm even sharing it with you, I'm also receiving my own checks, reminding me that, hey, you didn't do this, you were supposed to do that, da, 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 da. There is no other person. If you like to lie to yourself, if you like to lie, there is nobody in this world that you can't afford to lie to yourself. Lie to everybody if you want, but you see yourself, hold yourself accountable and tell yourself the truth. You can't afford to lie to yourself. So now let's talk about the process. How do I begin the journey of self-discovery? There are so many things that you can do. There are things that I did practically, and I'm going to share those things with you. If it is now, it's not a hard and fast rule, right? It might not necessarily apply to everybody. You will also need to find out other things that work for you. But I'm going to share with you the things that worked for me growing up, right? If you remember, I talked about that I started this journey as early as 13. Yes, as young as that, I started that journey. For me, my self-discovery began with quiet times. There is so much activity going on, there's so much noise. Everybody's having friends, going to parties, doing things, just staying, hanging out. You have 24 hours and just looking for various things to fill into that pocket of 24 hours. Having quiet and alone times are very good times for self-reflection. So quiet and alone times is that period where you can take an hour or 30 minutes and just be by yourself and think. It's the hardest thing to do, trust me. Thinking is the hardest thing to do because sometimes our minds, our brains are everywhere. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's worrying about one thing or the other. I mean, it takes a lot to be able to pull your mind in and be in the moment and look at yourself. Where did I learn this? I actually, as I said, I'm a Christian. I actually learned this from the Bible. There is a scripture, I can't remember quite exactly where it is, but it speaks about we as Christians. This might be a very diverse crowd, but I'm just coming from this angle so you understand what I'm saying. That part talks about searching our hearts using the word of God to search the innermost part of our hearts. This is where I came across the concept of self-reflection and having a quiet time. In some places you'll find it as meditation. Some places call it like that, meditation, just having that time with yourself. And always have a pen and a paper with you and start asking yourself questions. What do I like to do the best? What do I do that makes me happy? What do I do that makes me sad? What do I do? You're literally just asking yourself questions to understand how you function. If I find myself in this situation, how do I respond? Give yourself, you can actually go on Google and type in 365 questions to help in self-discovery, and you'll find a whole load of them. Then, number 2 thing, reading books. Reading books. I passed through a lot of self-help books that opened my eyes to things like personalities, temperaments. So the temperaments, you would find the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholic, and all of that. It would also help you understand what makes you act the way you do. That is actually a book by Tim LaHaye. What makes you act the way you do. It's all about temperaments. That's a book I would recommend that you should actually check out. So I've talked about quiet times, self-reflection. I've talked about reading books. 3, also sharing deeply with people who are of like minds. What is the environment that you find yourself in? So for me, I deliberately plugged myself into certain environments that would help me to develop. I by the time I was done with school, university, yeah, secondary school rather, not university. By the time I was done with secondary school, crossing into the university, I found myself in church. And then I got myself close to my pastor's wife and started getting mentoring from her. That also helped to mold me and also helped me to discover things about myself and discover who I could also be. Permit yourself to dream. Permit yourself to come up with the wildest imaginations of what could I be like. I've always seen myself as the corporate girl, the multimillionaire, and all that, and put those dreams down. It might not come to you exactly the way you want it, but it will definitely come. So, 3 things or 3 steps or 3 methods that you could apply to discovering yourself, which I've said just now, is you having your quiet time, your meditation, your whatever you want to call it. You also read some self-help books to understand a little bit more about how people act, why you act the way you do. It would also help you. Sometimes even scientific research could also help. I discovered so much recently about narcissistic personality disorder. And how did I do that? From the internet. That's what you have Google for. So the internet is not just to hook up with people and do business. The internet is also a space that can teach you so much about yourself. And then you also have having mentors, right? Find mentors, plug yourself in environments that will deliberately help you to become a better person. So I will pause here. My goal was to use up just 25 minutes of your time, and here we are at 22 minutes 48 seconds. I do not want to take too much of your time, so you could go ahead and have more activities. I'm going to end this with telling you one major thing that in fact, not just one major thing, a bunch of things that you discovering yourself will help you with. 1, let's talk about money. You discovering yourself in terms of money. There are different areas for you to, perform your self-discovery on. How do I relate with money? Am I the spendthrift? What that means is, am I the spender? Am I the one that once money enters my hand, I just go, hey, buying everything? That will give you a very good idea of where you're going to be financially 5-10 years from now. Am I the one that knows how to take 1,000 naira and convert it to 10,000? Or is it that when 1,000 naira enters my hand, all I can think of is ways to spend it? Can I now develop? Now, if you now know that, I don't have the ability to take 1,000 naira and convert it to 10,000, what can I do to learn, to develop that habit of taking 1,000 naira and multiplying it? Then, another area that discovering yourself will also help is in terms of career. So, certain personalities are fitted to certain careers. Certain kinds of people perform better in certain careers. So, you understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, right? It's like performing a SWOT analysis on yourself. You understanding your strengths will help you to know what career you'll be good at. Like me, for instance, I know I don't like the sight of blood. I can't stand it. Don't even put me there. So I just know, you see anything healthcare, medicine, nursing. Don't count me out. If I want to do it, I can be good at it, but my personality doesn't fit with it. So I just tilted away from that area completely. Right? Another part that discovering yourself will help you in, it will also help you. If I'm talking majorly to girls today, I want to put this. It will also help you in determining the kind of life partner that suits you. Self-discovery would help you to understand that, look, everything is not all about the butterflies in my tummy and how I feel about a certain person. But self-discovery will help me to know that, okay, even though I feel the butterflies in this person, let me be objective. I stop, I pause. What kind of person is this? Will this person blend well with my kind of person? Self-discovery will help you understand that intellectually you are here. And maybe that person is here. But if we can't fit, no matter how much the butterflies are flying, there will be a problem. So self-discovery will help you to pin that out. Self-discovery will also even help you in creating the future that will make you happy. So you get to understand that your future is not dependent on your job. Your future is not dependent on your environment. Your future is dependent on you. That no matter where you are, you can create the life of your dreams. But you must first know, what do I want? Who do I want to become? How do I want the world to see me? How am I going to project myself to the world? And how am I going to get value? Or how am I going to give value? So that is me. I hope you have learned so much today. We've talked about what self-discovery is, the process of discovering yourself, and what discovering yourself can do for you. So this is me saying thank you for having me. Have a great day. Bye.